The Phoenix Suns are the NBA's most doomed franchise due to recent moves. Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're talking about the Phoenix Suns and why they have one of the worst futures in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns just had a very tumultuous offseason after releasing Bradley Beal and trading Kevin Durant. The Suns have almost none of their first round picks due to trades such as getting Kevin Durant and have almost no depth and no good young players. The Phoenix Suns' bright spot is Devin Booker. Devin Booker could likely get a large return if they were to trade him. However, it's impossible for Phoenix to tank since almost all of their picks are either traded away or swapped, meaning that they will not be able to have a good position in the draft unless both the team they swapped with and them are bad. The Phoenix Suns recently traded Kevin Durant for Jalen Green as well as 5 second-round picks. This trade isn't horrible because Kevin Durant is older, he doesn't have as much value, and Jalen Green has shown bright spots for the Houston Rockets. However, Jalen Green is kind of a one-sided player. A lot of criticism he's received in the past is that he hasn't really improved much since becoming a star-level player for the Houston Rockets. So Houston had to decide between him and Alperen Sengun. They trade Jalen Green as well as Dillon Brooks to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns also drafted Khaman Maluach, and while Maluach is not the greatest center, he didn't play amazing in Summer League. He has a lot of potential and could be something for the Suns. They also made a good trade, in my opinion, trading for Mark Williams, and it could have been, it's a bit of a risky trade. They give up a little, but Mark Williams, although some injury concerns, he's playing for Charlotte. He's an elite defensive center, and getting Mark Williams is huge for the Phoenix Suns. However, I still think they're the most doomed franchise because as of right now, they have almost no depth. Their best players are number 1, Devin Booker, number 2, Jalen Green, and then after that, you probably say Mark Williams. They have Dillon Brooks, who has been good, also has had some very bad moves, bad decisions. But the issue with the Phoenix Suns is that they're in a very bad position because if they are to trade Devin Booker, and even if they got 5 first-round picks back, the teams that you make these blockbuster trades with are usually good. We saw that with the Jazz. They traded Rudy Gobert for 5 first-round picks and Donovan Mitchell for some picks. These picks have all been protected. They've all been late in the draft, which isn't like Minnesota was not great, and that's how they got Keontae George at around 18. However, these picks are not going to be good enough to get you star players, as the Jazz have seen. The Jazz have their own picks, and they've gotten higher picks, but you really have to be terrible and get your own picks to get star players, to get your best chance, right? There's going to be guys that fall in the draft and play well, but for you to get your best players, you have to have your picks, and you have to be really, really bad, as Utah's seen in their so far not very successful rebuild. The Jazz have found pieces. They found Ace Bailey. Walker Kessler's really good, but when you find a bunch of decent future role players like Walker Kessler, you pretty much just have to keep resetting because, like, let's say they trade Walker Kessler to the Lakers for a first-round pick, then they're just in this never-ending loop of first-round picks, and they never actually get better. And that's why I don't think the rebuild route is going to be an option here for Phoenix. Their only options are going to be at the deadline to make moves to make this team better. And I just don't think a backcourt of Devin Booker and Jalen Green is ever going to be anything in the Western Conference with the OKC Thunder, with the Houston Rockets, with other teams like the Lakers who now have Luka Doncic, with the Mavericks who have Cooper Flag, with the Spurs who have Victor Wembanyama. In the West, you are going to need to have special players to contend. There's no point in being mediocre, like the Phoenix Suns likely are going to be, if you don't have pieces to potentially win, because there is no world where the Phoenix Suns can win a 7-game series against the OKC Thunder without injuries. And that's why OKC Thunder are likely, in my opinion, the NBA franchise with the worst future. You can say teams like the Philadelphia 76ers, but at the end of the day, if they were to right now trade Joel Embiid, they would still get 3 first-round picks minimum. They have Tyrese Maxey, who's insane. Jared McCain, who looked like the Rookie of the Year before he got injured. And Paul George's contract's bad, but they only have like 2 to 3 more years of that. Their future is going to still be bright. You have the LA Clippers, the whole Kawhi Leonard scandal, but even if he got waived, they could potentially go into a rebuild. I believe they have one of their picks in the future, and they would easily be able to get 3 first-round picks for Ivica Zubac. John Collins, once they get him on a cheaper deal after this season, will be a big trade piece. Bradley Beal is on one of the best contracts in the NBA, and at the deadline, I think they will easily be able to get a first for Bradley Beal if they're not good, just because of how convenient his contract is. They could plug Bradley Beal on any team in the NBA for free. So it's going to be big for NBA teams looking for like a spark plug off the bench or a shooting guard. If, like, let's say Donovan Mitchell gets injured for the Cavs, instead of throwing away the season in a season where the Eastern Conference is not very good, they could just trade a first round pick for Bradley Beal. That is why I don't think the Clippers have the worst future. And there's other teams, the Wizards, the Jazz, like, but at the end of the day, they have a path to contention, because even if they decided to stop rebuilding and trade all their picks for stars, they could build at least somewhat of a team, and the Phoenix Suns do not have the option to do that right now. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more NBA content. I'm going to be posting often during the NBA season once there's actually stuff going on. Right now, we're very, very deep into the off season as the real season's about to start. So like, subscribe, turn on that notification, and see you next time on No Bias Hoops.